mixture of Western and Eastern culture, and I think things I'm going to tell about today are more typical for Eastern culture. I'm not sure, but I guess so. So I hope this video will be interesting and useful for you. The first one is about the shoes. I'm sure, or I'm almost sure that you heard about this, that in Eastern countries and some Western countries too, people take off their shoes before entering the house. Not each house, I mean some private house. And that's absolutely normal, and that's strange and impolite if you stay in your street shoes. Usually it's connected with the weather, because it's quite dirty outside, because it's north and snow and all that stuff, or rainy weather. That's why. But also, even if it's summertime and everything is dry, people still do it just because there are some, how to say it, microbes. Can I say like this? I don't remember. So, dirt that we can't see. Anyway, our shoes are dirty because we walked everywhere in these shoes, and that's why we leave it in front, nearby the front door. I mean, the enter in the house or flat. And the same thing with our street. I mean, some coat, for example, some street jacket, and all this stuff. Even if it's summertime and you have some, not summertime, but maybe autumn or winter, and you have some coat, you should leave it nearby the entrance. And once I watched the movie, or not once even, and when I see people in English or US movies, and they come in their rooms, in their sleeping rooms, in shoes or in coat, and they lay on the bed in these shoes and clothes. I feel terrible. I feel sick, because it seems to me so dirty, and I can't understand how it's possible. Why do you do this? And it seems to me that walking in street shoes is not really comfortable for your feet, because I don't know, your feet are sweating in their shoes now. So we usually don't do this. Before, in Soviet Union, there were popular some special home shoes, but now it's not. It's something about grannies and all that stuff. Usually young people, they just wear socks in the houses, or if it's okay for them, they go without socks, just by their foot. But I usually wear socks because it's too cold for me. So that's one, the first tip. The second thing is about the public transport, and for men in public transport in Russia. If you're a man and you take a place in public transport, sitting place, I mean, and if you see old woman, old man nearby, pregnant woman, it's very rude and impolite not to give them your place. So you should stand up and give them your place, because they are like, it's more difficult for them to stay in public transport. Women do this too, but yeah, for women that's okay too. But usually men do this often, I think. So I mean, society waits this from men more often than from women. Also, you can do this for women too. If you're a man, you can do this for women, but that's something like a compliment. For example, you want to make a compliment to some woman, maybe you like her beauty, and you can give her your place too. Most of the women in Russia are completely okay with that, and they like that, and they feel nice because of this. So maybe, of course, each person is different, but I think in 99% they are okay. If you see a woman with typical feminine appearance, I'm sure that she will be okay with that, and it won't be offensive for her if you stand up and give her your place. Also, you can do it for kids. That's don't smile, and their faces are always sad and all that stuff. And actually, that's true. I guess that's really like that. I don't know why. Maybe because of the climate. It's north and hard and all that stuff. The sky is grey. The winters are cold. Maybe because of the life conditions, which are not really good for many Russians. Maybe there is some cultural things. For example, if you smile a lot, and actually that's a tip, if you are in Russia, you can walk along the street and smile, but people will think that you are or crazy or foreigner, something like this. So in Russian culture, if you smile a lot without a reason, just walking and smiling, you are crazy. So in Russian culture, smile it's about something which person gives personally to you. It's not for everyone. And for example, I'll smile to you. I'll give my smile to you because I like you, and not for anyone else. And it's sincerely. So it's important to be honest with people. And I smile to you only if I want to smile. So on one hand it's good, on the other it's not. For example, client service in Russia 20-30 years ago was completely bad because of this, because people, workers in shops, in beauty salons, anywhere else, they could seem quite rude without smile, with their gloomy faces. But now it's became much better, much closer to Western, to European countries, and now it's okay. But in common life, on the streets or somewhere else, you can think that maybe Russians are really gloomy. And that's also, I think, connected with our language. Our Russian language is quite monotone. It's not about emotions like English, Italian language, Spanish, I guess. So, I don't know, I can try to speak something in Russian right now, but I probably can't show it so much. Okay, I'll try. Например, вот сейчас я говорю на русском, и у меня нет на лице столько эмоций. Like if now when I speak in English, and I see the difference when I speak Russian and then I turn into English, I start smiling, I start being so friendly, my intonations are so friendly. But for Russian language, it's super unnatural, and you will look, if you speak like that in Russian, you will look crazy, and like if you're pretending to be friendly. So that's why. So it's not because Russians really rude, gloomy, but actually they are not so strong, not so much as you can think. That's because of this cultural and language thing. Yeah. Number 4. That's mostly for women for now, and it's about churches. If you want to visit Russian church to see how it looks inside, or so you just decided to go inside the church, if you are women, you should cover your head with some scarf, for example. That's quite an important thing, and if the place is super tourist and super popular, usually people more or less okay with that. Workers in this church. But if it's some small church without any kind of tourist in some small town or just not tourist district, that's quite important to cover your head with a scarf. Also, if you are women, it's better, it's not so necessary as covered head, but it's better to be in skirt or dress, and this skirt and dress, they must be lower than your knee level, so not very short. And for men, it's important not to wear, so it's better to be in pants than in shorts, so not something till knee level, better lower than knee level. And also about your upper clothes, it's better not to wear, how to say it, shorts, with your opened shoulders, opened back or something like this. So your clothes must cover your as much as possible in church. Number 5, don't drink tap water in Russia. Anywhere in Russia, everywhere in Russia. I don't recommend you this. It's not for drinking. All people in Russia, they clean this water somehow or buy drinking water, but don't drink it from the tap. When I come to Europe, it's always the first days is super unusual for me that I can drink this water, and I feel a bit scared to drink it because it's not typical for me, and I am not used to this. But then I start drinking it, and actually that's quite cool. But in Russia, I don't recommend you doing this because you can get how do you say it? Yeah, because you can get ill because of this. Number 6 is about the weather. If you go to northern Russian regions or Siberia in the winter period of time, you should remember that Russia is cold country. Most part of Russia is about cold, not in the summertime, but at least in winter, autumn, and spring period. So you should have warm clothes with you. And warm is not like in Europe. It's like in I don't know, Scandinavian countries, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, something like this. Or for America, like Alaska, like if you would travel to Alaska and not to the south of Alaska, not to Anchorage or Juneau, Sitka, but to the north of Alaska, like Nome, for example. So you should think about this when you go to Russia in winter period, because it can be really cold here. In summer it's better, it can be hot, but it can be rainy. But in the north, even in Siberia or in southern regions, it's quite warm in summertime. And the last thing, it's about northern again regions of Russia, not Siberia, but just if you come to the north of Russia, like Saint Petersburg, Murmansk, Arkhangelsk, so regions which are closer to the North Pole, you should know you come in the summertime, you should remember about polar day. That means that there will be a period in summertime where there is no night or almost no night, so it's light during the night like at the daytime, and you should be ready for this. If you are not okay to sleep in the light, you should take maybe sleeping mask or something. For example, I live in the north of Russia, and this year I finally bought blackout curtains. Before I was okay with this, but then I started feeling myself bad because I slept quite bad because of this light all the time, and it was sun in 5 o'clock in the morning, in 4 o'clock in the morning. So now I feel much better because of this year. I felt much better because of these blackout curtains.